Guys, it's Tam. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a process video in my glue book. And so you guys have seen this one before. This is basically just a big old um like interior design book, home decor book that I got from the thrift store, and I just use it as a glue book. And so I like it. And so that's what I'm going to be working in today. So I pulled some old Essence magazines that I have from my stash. And when I say old, I really do mean old. These magazines were probably 2013, 2014, maybe a few of them even in 2015. So the oldest one I think I have goes all the way back to 2012, I want to say. So I used to have a subscription to Essence, and I saved those magazines. I threw a lot of them away. I had a subscription to Essence as well as um, Ebony and Jet. I think it was they were black based magazines, and so I love supporting the black community, and that also means, extended outside of my local community. So if I see something that is specifically to promote, black people, because, we get a bad rap sometimes. And so, especially seeing us be great moms, great business owners, entrepreneurs, being great bosses, things like that, and those types of magazines celebrate the black community. So it's not just what we are overwhelmed with seeing on the news. So I have subscribed to those type of magazines, and it's just always nice to see yourself, right? When you open a magazine, you want to see black people, black kids, black husbands, black families. And so I like being able to see myself in some of the materials that I use when I do my crafts. So that's what I decided to use in this particular entry, and I just cut out this big, and in hindsight, I should have actually painted my page before I glued this lock down. And it's basically a lock with some rings dangling off of it. But I'm going to actually paint my page, and I didn't remember that until after I had already glued that down. And so that's what you see I'm going to do now. And I'm just using some gouache paint that I ordered from Amazon, and I'm just putting it down on my page. Gouache is super, super thick. It's like some describe it as a middleman between watercolor and acrylic paint. And I think it's just a little bit thicker than acrylic paint. And so it's like acrylic paint amplified by 3 or 4 times. So it's thicker than acrylic paint to me. And so I'm putting down that blue on my page. I'm also going to tie in some, I think, maroon reddish like color, and then I'm going to mix in some white to kind of lighten those colors up. I've just got to say that I loved the way this page turned out. I really did. And so it goes through some ugly stages. It goes through some ugly stages where I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I don't like the way this is looking. But, what do they say? When you find yourself going through the ugly stages of your craft or your creation, just keep going, and, keep going until it turns out the way you want it to. And so that's exactly what I did in this particular instance. And so I'm rubbing down that maroonish like paint. My hands are going to get really dirty. I love it. The only disadvantage to getting your hands dirty like this is when I have to pick up something with my hands, I'll just get it all dirty. I'll just have that paint everywhere. And so I'm going to pause the camera here and there just to try to wash my hands, get them clean as I move on to the next steps. So I'm just taking my finger in this instance. I took my brush in the beginning, and I like finger painting. It's just the messiness of it. So I'm going to take some of the white with my finger, just lighten up some of those colors. I'm realizing I got a big mess going on, so I washed my hands and came back, and I'm going to try to use my brush. Just put some white down on my brush to try to soften those blues and reds. So that's what I'm doing. Those blue and red spots that I have on each one of those pages. I'm going to try to just soften them up a little bit. So that's what I'm doing, just taking my paintbrush, just, smoothing down some white. And I think it goes without saying that I am not an expert at painting. I wish I could paint, but I just enjoy the process of putting paint down on my pages, just letting it, kind of turn into, a creation, my own little masterpiece. So someone who is familiar with and knows how to properly use paint will probably look at this like, what in the world is she doing? But it's my own process. So, and that's the thing. You have to enjoy what you do and not let other people discourage you, in your processes. Unless your goal is to be an expert at something. But if you're just playing around and you enjoy the outcome of your work the way that you know how to do it, then don't let anyone discourage you or make you feel like you have to be an expert at something that you don't feel like you have to be an expert to achieve the results that you're looking to achieve. So that's what I'm doing here, just putting paint down here and there, just trying to make sure everything is the way that I like it. This is the ugly stage. This is the ugly stage that I was telling you guys about. As I look at it on camera here, it is a true ugly stage. It looks a mess, but I promise you it gets better, or at least it gets better to me. You may feel like it's still an ugly stage at the end, but it gets better to me. So what I'm doing now, I dip that brush into some black paint and I'm going to create a border around the pages, like starting with the right page here, and it's going to extend over to the left page, and I'm just going to have like a big border combining both of the pages. And I felt like doing this kind of brought the two pages together to make it look like, just one big portrait, instead of, splitting it up, making one page look, different than the other. So I felt like this border kind of brings it all together to make it look like um it's just one process, one picture. So I'm going to try to save this white paint in my own true frugal, in my own true frugal fashion. Try saying that 5 times. But I'm going to try to save that white paint that was left on the palette, and just, I dipped it back in there and kind of took some of the green, some of the white fell in the green, and I just kind of dipped it out of there so it wouldn't mess up my green color. So I'm going to hit that with the dryer, all nice and dry. And now I'm going to start gluing down some of my other images. So I glued the blue lock, and this is kind of like a blue page-ish, that's kind of like how it turned out. And I don't know, my mind just goes there. I'll start with one color and I'll just go through the magazine and I'll find similar colors. And that's just how my process is most of the time. And so I just went through the magazines and I tried to find blue images. And so I found these two ladies that have on blue. And then I found this lady that's sitting down, and she kind of reminds me of Alicia Keys. She kind of has that Alicia Keys look to her. She has on blue pants and a blue shirt. So I put her down, or blue, like a blue border around her shirt. This is like a mascara and nail polish on this one that I'm gluing down now. And this guy, he is the main attraction on this page. And it's a guy with a crown, so which makes him a king, and he is holding up the world. And so you can kind of see that hand coming, around the backside, where he's kind of lifting up the world with that hand. And I actually cut down the saying that was on the page in the magazine, which I'm going to also glue down as my title for this page. And it just says, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." And so I thought that was definitely it fit, I thought it fit the image perfectly, and I didn't have to come up with anything on my own. And so I'm probably off camera now, just trimming it down, and I'll bring it here too. Oh, I'm actually going to go around that black border. I'm going to take this silver paint pen, and I'm going to make like some little asterisks around the page to kind of add something else to that border. And so I'm going to just go around the entire black border with this silver paint pen. So that's what you see me doing now. I just felt like something just to make it pop out just a little bit more. So that's what I'm doing. And I felt like it really did add something to my page. You know how it is. Sometimes you'll do something and it really doesn't make a huge difference. But in this particular case, I felt like, this brought exactly what I wanted it to bring to that border. And so I'm just, putting it on there. So I'm almost done with this, guys. I don't think I have too much more to do. So I'll go ahead and say my outro. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so you can know when I upload new videos. As most of you know, I have a second channel. It's a Bible journaling channel where I journal in my Bible and talk about my faith. That channel and all of my information actually is listed down below in the description of this video. So please check it out. If you're not a subscriber, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I see y'all looking. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. It's okay. It's okay. Even if you don't like every single video, nobody likes every single video, right? So even if you don't like every single video, I'm sure there's enough content on my page where you'll like a lot of them, So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What else am I doing? I think I'm going to also go in with some more white paint. I'm going to put like some white dots all over the page. So I think I'm going to grab what did I use? I believe my white paint pen. I think I'm going to grab my white paint. Yep, there it is, my white paint pen. And I'm just going to put some white dots all over the page. I thought it was still looking kind of empty, if that makes sense. With so much going on, it's hard to even imagine it looks empty. But that's what in my mind, it looked empty. So I figured I would just put some of these white, I'm creating a white border around the title. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And I'm going to finish it off with some white, like polka dots. It's going to be like white polka dots all over the page. So that's what I'm doing now. It's just adding white accents to the page. I hope you guys are doing well. Please leave a comment down below. I always love to read the comments, and I try to always respond to each and every one. So don't be shy. Leave a comment down below, even if it's just to say hello. And I'll say hello back. And honestly, I think this is the end of this page, guys. I'm looking at it here while I record this voiceover, and I don't see anything else that I added to well, actually, I did add a couple of things while I was off camera, so you won't see it here. I filled in the gap down by my Alicia Keys girl. It's a gap to her right shoulder. You see that white part there? I filled that in off camera with some more blue paint. And up by the rings, you see just above the Alicia Keys girl, those white spots beside the ring, I filled those in with blue paint as well, because I felt like it just looked like an empty space that didn't quite tie in. But you're not going to see that off camera. I am going to post a picture of it on my Instagram account if you want to see the final results. But that was pretty much it. So guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for being a part of my YouTube family. As always, I love jumping on here talking to you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.